Hello, I'm Luca De Giglio, and this is the Web3 in Travel podcast, where you can learn about crypto, blockchain, and how the new internet will change travel.
Crypto has a UX problem. It is difficult to interact with, and it is dangerous. It has especially a wallet problem. I stopped suggesting people to get in crypto a long time ago when I realized that the level of technical capabilities and attention required to operate in crypto is just too high, and it's still just for a few people. And we can see as every startup which tries to onboard the masses is faced with this Faustian, I would say, dilemma, which is, shall I centralize to make it easier, or shall I keep it decentralized and only cater to the few crypto OGs? And both solutions are bad, because if you centralize to make it easier, you are basically losing many of the properties for which it even makes sense to do crypto in travel. And if you keep it just for the few, well, they are the few, and many travel applications need critical mass to make sense. If you want to do an OTA, you cannot have like 5% of hotels in the world, and you will not have 100% of hotels in the world unless there's a lot of people booking them, right? So we've been knowing this problem for a long time. I'm just repeating stuff I said many times. But there's a glimmer of hope, in my opinion, and this is coming from AI. In June last year, I made an episode about AI, which was more general, saying that there was a potential convergence of AI and crypto. Now, almost a year later, I realized that there's a specific use case for AI in crypto. I mean, there's many use cases for AI in crypto, as there's many use cases for AI in general on the internet. There's one particular use case for AI which is exciting to me, and this is UX abstraction. Meaning, and I'll put it as simply as I can, instead of you going to a crypto app and try to figure out how it works, you just speak to the AI and the AI will do it for you. Now, this is not an idea I had myself. It's been talked a lot in general. And some people are saying frontends are dead, meaning why should we spend so much time and effort trying to make an UX easy for a human when AIs can do this without any effort? See, when you interact with, say, Booking.com, you are seeing text and pictures and buttons. But a machine sees it sees also that, but it sees also the HTML behind it. It sees the JavaScript behind it. Basically, it sees how it really works behind the scenes. We are presented with an interface. We are presented with a representation of what's happening inside, while the machines can see what's happening inside. Really, I mean, even programmers can do that. You can open any web page and actually see what's happening behind the scenes. You can't do this on an app on a phone, or at least I think this is not possible. But if it's HTML, you can simply inspect the HTML and see what's happening. This means that machines can interact better with them. Has it ever happened to you that there's a calendar which is not accepting a certain date, or there's some kind of block in the front end, and this is just a front end, it's just living on your browser. So you open the inspect and you change it and you can pass through it. Nothing comes to mind at the moment. I apologize for this, but there's sometimes ways to go beyond and behind the UX if you know how these things work, right? So there's a lot of talk and research about how in the future we will not need to make interfaces human friendly anymore, or maybe that there's going to be the human-friendly interface, and then there's going to be the AI-friendly interface. That's probably not good news. Then we need two kind of front ends. Or, well, in some way or the other, I'm sure many people are already taking into consideration the fact that your website and your app is going to be used by an AI. Now, for crypto, this could really change things. Because again, what is difficult with crypto? Creating a wallet is difficult, and securing your keys is difficult, and not falling for scams is difficult. We discussed this before. There's a lot of work going on toward making wallets easier, better, and safer. Smart accounts and stuff like this. And this actually is happening a lot. But I don't know if we can ever reach the level of simplicity that a WhatsApp app has, for instance, for something which is managing money, NFTs, maybe accounts, identities, maybe 1,000 reviews on your listing, and so on. And we don't need to think in black and white. It's not going to be either smart accounts solve the problem or AI solves the problem. There's going to be, again, a convergence of solutions, which at the end will make simply using crypto something anybody can do. But let's focus for now on AI. You have probably heard about agents. Agents in AI are basically different from ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not an agent. ChatGPT is a chat in which you ask something and the chat replies. If you stop asking, it just goes dead. It stops writing to you. It is not proactive. An agent is something else, is an AI to which you say, okay, keep looking for the cheapest flight and let me know when you find something below $1,000. And this agent goes online and browses many websites, and until it finds what you need, or until the time expires. Maybe you say do it for a week, or until the cost reaches a certain threshold. Maybe you say spend a maximum of $1 to do that, and then it comes back to you and sends you the information, and then you can book. You can have several agents at the same time doing different things, and so on. So you can imagine an agent to which you say, I need an Airbnb from the 10th to the 15th of June in Paris. My maximum budget is $300 per night. Just book something for me. And the AI has your credit card, your email, everything it needs, and it does the booking. Now, what I'm talking about is not something which is alive today. There's a lot of experiments out there, not something which is ready for mass production, but we're looking a bit ahead, right? You can imagine the same thing with the crypto UX, because that's the big kind of information. The big news is like, for the AI, booking through Airbnb as it is today with login, password, and credit card, etc., or booking through something like Airbnb with crypto and using a wallet, there's no really difference in terms of difficulty. It is not more or less difficult. If anything, it is easier with crypto because, again, we discussed this in the past. Crypto is native internet money. You don't have external dependencies. There's no it's been conceived for the internet. It's just closer to the AI than credit cards, basically. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you can do it, the AI can do it faster and better. That's the moment where we may not be there yet, but we will be there for sure in a relatively short time. So the concept is, if you can do it, AI can do it. If your grandma can do it, the AI can do it, of course. So this is not difficult anymore, right? That's not the issue. Difficulty is not the issue. Front end is not the issue. Things being not clear, not intuitive, that's not an issue anymore at all. Okay, so we can also envision Web3 travel applications where the interface doesn't let you interact directly, and it simply gives you a chatbot where it says, okay, tell me what you want to do. right? And you write it or speak to it, and it does it. Now, you have to have on your end an AI which possesses the capabilities to interact with your wallet. Maybe a wallet the AI itself created and secured. Again, if securing a wallet means backing up the private keys and never revealing them, can the AI do this? It certainly can. If security means never click on suspicion links from DMs on Discord, on Telegram, can the AI spot these scams? I would say it can spot these scams better than you most of the time, so better than us. Now, maybe you are listening, you are somebody who never gets scammed, but can it do that? I would say yes. Can it do it today? Maybe not, but it will be able to do it pretty soon. So here's an idea. If you're building a Web3 and travel app, instead of centralizing things to make it easier for dumb humans, quote unquote, why don't you make it working for AIs as they are today? And you tell humans, just tell me what you want and it's going to happen. Why don't we do that? It's probably too early. Again, I'm not talking about something which can be done today. It's the beginning of a journey towards transforming front end from something people have to click on to something people have to talk to. There are some experiments out there. There's an experiment called AI Ice Dev, in which you can deploy a token. This is specifically for meme tokens, simply by talking to the AI and telling what you want to, how many you want and what it is about. And it's going to create a ticker for you. It's going to create the logo for you. And then finally, that's actually the hard part, it's going to deploy it on the blockchain for you. So simply by talking to a website, you're going to have a token deployed. You won't need to learn how to deploy a token, which is something, it's getting easier. It used to be very hard, and now it's much easier. There are websites for that, but this is even easier, right? Now, that's just an experiment. It is working. People are using it, but I can imagine a situation in which any Web3 travel-related app is going to give you a way to interact with it simply by talking in natural language. So that may really solve the problem. And if that solves the problem, well, then Web3 in travel, crypto in general, but Web3 in travel can actually start making some noise. What else? The fact that every time you go on a website, it doesn't know anything about you unless you've been using it as an account before. Even if it has an account, they tend to forget. Personalization is really hard in online in general, in travel especially, right? Because maybe Booking.com remembers what you preferred, but Airbnb, because you use it less, maybe it doesn't. So you have to kind of teach it again by using it, etc. If you remove this personalization from the centralized servers of the OTAs, and you bring it back to yourself, the AI will learn it, right? The AI knows that you prefer some specific accommodations. And when it goes on Airbnb, on Booking, or the centralized OTA, it will take care of personalization for you. There you go. Another big issue in travel, which is personalization, may be solved by AI. Many times we have the possibility to fill in a profile in a website so that we get a better, again, personalized service, but we don't do it because it's a hassle, right? The AI can do that. The AI could go in every website you use and fill in every information which is needed for you to get a better personalization. There's no issue with, things taking a long time or being tiresome. Now, let's say that the website throws an error, like, your wallet throws an error, and it's usually very hard to understand what the problem is. You go on Google, you look for it, or maybe you go on ChatGPT or Claude and you look for it. Well, this can be also automated. There's an error. The AI maybe already knows what it is. If not, it can go online and search and try to solve the problem. I mean, if you think at the frustration front-end developers have in when they try to make things understandable for the users, and they have to explain things in simple terms, and they have in front of them the very simple users to the very advanced users. Imagine if instead of the users they have an AI, and the AI doesn't have any issue with problems at any level of difficulty, right? So that makes everything easier in a way, also for the front end developers. I don't know if we're gonna stop having front ends and everything is going to be abstracted in natural language, or we're gonna have the same front ends we have today, but AI can navigate them easily. I don't know that, but I expect certainly for even the front end developers to take into consideration this new reality sooner or later. Another issue which can be solved is, and I'm talking about Web3 in travel, but this is also true for Web2 in everything, and Web2 in travel. Any problem that we have today with interfaces at every level can be solved by AI. So let's say that there's a website which requires you to go through several steps, like a flight booking website. When you book on Ryanair or Wizz Air or AirAsia or whatever, or Etihad, or it doesn't matter. There's so many steps involved, and there's so many things to look at, and you can't read everything. You forget things, you miss things. Then something goes wrong, you start over, or you don't start over, but you don't know where you are. You know what I'm talking about, right? AI could, in many cases, either go through these steps, because again, it can go through steps, or simply skip those steps and go behind the scenes. Maybe even at the API level in some cases, right? But again, it doesn't even really matter to us. If I say, book me a flight to Bangkok on Qatar Airlines, try to spend at maximum €800 return between May and September, go. And it just goes. Does it mean that, I already hear the replies here, but it's going to do things you don't want it to do? No, you just define, you can say, just do it, I don't care, because maybe you're flexible, or let me know every time there's a doubt, or alert me just before you book so I can come in and book myself, push the pay button myself. Now, going back a little bit to Web3, because your wallet holds money, and once the money is gone, it's gone. It's not like credit cards where if there's a fraud, you can kind of get it back sometimes. Scammers love crypto, right? It's like an infinite pool of money which they can take and don't worry about giving back, or often don't worry about being caught. And we as humans are targeted by these scammers. With AI, we can probably expect a higher level of attention, like AI, of course, the rightly trained AI, the right AI, etc., to be less prone to this kind of scams. Will it be worse? Maybe it's worse. Maybe we're going to have AI, on the other hand, trying to scam AI. Of course, I'm not trying to paint a rosy picture here. Things can go either way. Certainly, humans have proven to be pretty easy to scam and pretty limited in the capabilities of interacting with crypto UX and wallets. So even if we decide not to do that, they're going to do it on the other end. So now I'm talking about scammers and users. Scammers will use AI. Scammers will do everything they can to scam you using every technology they have. So if we don't use AI on our hand, we lose the battle. There's no way. So we are kind of forced to use AI to strengthen security anyway. Now let's think a bit about MetaMask. If you've been in crypto for a while and you haven't just done the stuff on Coinbase or Binance, MetaMask. It's a wallet. It's a plugin on your browser, and more often than not, you sign stuff you don't understand. I mean, it's it asks you to sign stuff and say, there's numbers and there's codes, and you sign because you trust the website, not because you trust what's written there. And it's been remarkable to see the excitement about a new wallet called Rabby, which is kind of like MetaMask, but a bit better in terms of explaining problems, a bit better in terms of alerting you of potential risks. And this is like as a 10% improvement, or maybe a 50% improvement, or maybe 100% improvement from MetaMask. But AI can be a 100x improvement. In what sense? Well, let's focus on a very small detail. For instance, there's you are trying to exchange some tokens on uniswap.org, and you do not realize that you're not on uniswap.org because you shouldn't do that, but you do it anyway. You went on Google, you look for Uniswap, and Google gave you Uniswap with an accented A.org. You click, you think you are on the legit website, you are not, and then whatever you do interacting with them with a wallet, you're gonna be drained, you're gonna lose all your money, right? It's very easy to miss that. AI will not miss that. There's no way. AI has eagle eyes on that kind of stuff, right? Let's say that for any reason it doesn't see that, right? And it goes clicking on a transaction, and then MetaMask opens, and MetaMask tells you you are interacting with the contract 0x blah 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 blah, certain numbers. The human will never see that. I don't remember the contracts that Uniswap is using. AI can easily match and say, well, this is not the original contract, so something is fishy and it stops. Let's go even a bit farther. AI doesn't need to go on uniswap.org. It can go on etherscan.io and interact with the contracts directly. But that doesn't really matter. Again, maybe the best way to think about this is like, instead of you doing crypto stuff, you have a crypto expert doing them for you, a person in your home or remotely connected 24 hours, 24/7 on Zoom. Somebody you trust, and somebody who has your keys and can do anything, is an expert. And all you say is like, okay, I want to sell some A tokens for B tokens. Please do it for me. And the person does it. And if there's a doubt, the person asks you. And if there's a problem, the person doesn't do them. You know what I mean? It's like having an expert at your disposal 24/7. Now, a new protocol comes out, you don't know it, the front end is hard, you're not sure how that works. The AI can simply study the protocol, study all the docs in matters of minutes, study DeFi Llama and see if there's volume. It can do all those things which you may not have time to do, or you may not be able to do. It can do it in a very short time at a relatively low cost, and then interact with this protocol or not. Or maybe just let you know, look, the analysis on this new protocol is the following, and it gives you a small abstract. What would you like me to do? Maybe you can say, well, study more, or just go ahead or make a small transaction with a test wallet. There's no problem for an AI to have a test wallet where there's only, $10 and do tests before doing the real thing. It is for us because we don't have time, right? AI has infinite time. Automation. Now, more often than not, we don't do things we would like to do. Well, that was a convoluted phrase. Like, there's things I would do if I had infinite time. For instance, I often travel to Italy, and I would like to have an automation which allows me to buy the cheapest flights anytime they appear, right? Can I do this? Maybe there's some services out there. I don't know what I do today. I go through kayak.com and ask it to send me an alert. With AI, I could simply say, do this once a day and buy the ticket if it's below, 15 euros. And that's it. That's solved. And again, that could be done also in a Web3 app. Automating those tasks becomes trivial with agents. So it could be said that AI agents could become the front end of frontends. So like an intelligent, adaptive intermediary layer that allows humans to interact with complex apps in simple, natural ways. This could be a major enabler for crypto and other frontier tech to reach mass adoption. I'm reading here. I didn't write that. Claude.ai wrote this when I asked it what it thinks about that. So let me read it again. So in essence, AI agents could become the front end of front ends, an intelligent, adaptive intermediary layer that allows humans to interact with complex apps in simple, natural ways. This could be a major enabler for crypto and other frontier tech to reach mass adoption. This is Cloud 3 Opus, the one you pay for, so the most powerful model. Now, something which can create this kind of reasoning, do you think it's going to have any problem in, doing a transaction with a crypto wallet? I don't think so. I think that we have solved, or we will solve, the crypto UX problem also from this side, not only from the smart contract side, not only making wallets better, but also by using natural language. So the biggest issue in crypto, which has always been UX and wallets, is going to be solved. The only question which remains is when. Now, what are the difficult parts, the challenges here? So one is how safe, how trustworthy are these agents are. They could be themselves, flawed in some ways, maybe even hacked. So that could be a problem. So they could be exploited by bad actors. There's another issue with data privacy and user autonomy. Basically, you are telling the AI stuff, which maybe then is kind of collected by the AI services. But again, AI is not only GPT running on OpenAI servers, it's also localized. It could be a specific AI implemented by the front end of each app, or even could be an AI which you have running in your computer. So, what is done in the AI stays in the AI. A bit like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But, small parenthesis here, the issue with privacy is not technical. The issue with privacy is that people don't really care. We will care about privacy only when we get really burned with it, maybe with the next dictator, but that's another thing. So privacy concerns are there. Stuff we do online is constantly leaked. AI will not solve that, and it will not solve that because we don't care. We don't want to pay for privacy. Another issue is, what if the AI fails? AI hallucinates. Let me remind you the concept. AI, for the way it is built, AI sometimes doesn't know an answer and makes it up. That's one of the big problems left with the whole technology there. So there could be cases in which it kind of, books the wrong flight because, I don't know, you asked me to go to Bangkok and I booked for Denver in winter for you because, I don't know, some time ago you mentioned something like that. I don't know. What happens if the AI fails? What happens if the AI kind of crashes? It happens sometimes on ChatGPT. It just stops working. So you need fallback options. Again, is this worse than what happens if the human fails? I mean, humans fail all the time. So there's already, when you are developing an app, you are already, if you're developing properly, thinking, what if the human makes a mistake? What if the human doesn't understand this? And these fallback options are there. They have to be there also for AI, maybe different ones. And of course, one of the other challenges is the regulatory framework. Now you have the crypto regulatory framework, and then you have the AI regulatory framework. Is this going to be legal? Is any country going to say, no, you cannot book with AI? You cannot use AI to interact with crypto because it's two evils instead of one. I don't know. That's one of the problems we may face. Now let's go a bit more in detail in Web3, travel, crypto, AI use cases. What can we do if we can use these systems with natural language? For instance, imagine that there's not one decentralized OTA, but 100 or 10. I theorize often that once this happens, once all the Lego pieces are, Lego blocks are in place, we're going to have one first decentralized OTA, and the next day we're going to have 2 and then 100, because it's very easy to deploy them. AI can simply go on many of these and make all the search for you. A little bit like today, some of us go on Booking, Expedia, and Airbnb and try to compare, and it's a lot of work. It can be completely automated, and then we get the best price, the best product, etc. Now, another area is the tokenized loyalty programs. We discuss this often. Suppose that you have tokens and NFTs from different decentralized loyalty programs. The AI can automatically help you sell the ones you don't need anymore, or spot opportunities in swapping them for others which you need. Maybe you want to book something in Dubai, and it suggests you a Marriott, and then it finds that you don't have Marriott tokens, but you can swap from Hilton tokens to Marriott tokens automatically and then use them. So you can basically automate all these things. And of course, the fact that you can ask, this was one of the first use cases we all played with, like ask the AI to plan the trip for you. I think this is still too complex. It needs much more information on you. Maybe at the point in which the AI, maybe possibly a local AI, has all the info it needs on your travel habits, then it can go outside and make bookings for you. But I see this happening too. And as usual, it's really easy, or relatively easy, to see where things are going in general. And in this context, again, it's going to be, I will speak to websites and tell them what I want, rather than I will click on websites and try to figure out. And it's really hard to time it. I won't even try that. And it's also really hard to go a bit more in detail. One question which comes to mind is like, who's going to solve the problem? Like, is it like every Web3 travel app is going to have a natural language layer, like maybe a chatbot on the side? I don't really like this idea. It feels, it feels different. It feels like you interact with it only in that website, right? Or it's going to be more like a kayak style thing, in which I have a travel AI agent, or an app on my computer which is more in control of what I do, and I simply go there, and then this one goes out and does all the rest. And these I like much more. So let me envision something which works. First, I don't like the idea of having a centralized kayak AI thing which does crypto for me. I would love to have it on my computer, running maybe APIs with the LLMs, because they are so powerful, or maybe with an instance of AI running on my computer that's much less powerful, much more intensive in terms of resources, but it's also improving a lot. And we have seen in AI how when you narrow the scope of the AI, it can do much better with much less resources. But again, I don't know, or something running on my computer, maybe with an API to a third-party major AI provider, or with some open source AI running on a server, which I control. So I keep control of the data, and I feel more comfortable in training the AI on myself. And and then asking to do things. Just to give you an idea where we stand, it's possible today to build this. There's powerful open LLMs, always a bit or a lot behind the big ones, but not that much, especially again if it's narrow. There's interfaces, there's code you can use, and you can fork. There's a lot of stuff. I could try and build this today. What I'm sure about is that it's not going to be powerful enough for me to actually use it. Why? Well, because I don't have enough material to work on the Web3 side. There's not enough decentralized OTAs, and there's not enough other products and loyalty, etc. It's still early for that. Maybe for Web2, okay. But then again, we're talking about Web3 here. Yes, I can automate stuff on Web2, but the trade-off is always it's not going to be as good as if I do it myself, because it doesn't have this constant feedback which I give myself when I book stuff online. And then what's the point? It's probably just saving time. Maybe if somebody develops this and it's really powerful, maybe I'll use it. But what I really would like to have is to book directly, to book like Web3 natively, and then it makes sense. It will make sense to have an AI interface again, wherever it is, online, locally, etc. But I see a lot of potential there. I just gave you some random thoughts. I hope they were helpful. Let's think about this. Let's experiment with that. We may bring Web3 in travel mainstream by leveraging AI. Otherwise, we risk being stuck in Web 2.5 land forever. And again, Web 2.5 is the best we can do today, probably, but it's few orders of magnitude less interesting than really decentralized applications for travel.
And we're done. Thank you for listening to this episode. For more insights, follow me on Twitter at Tripluca, TRIPLUCA. If you enjoy my podcast and want to support it, head on to podcast.web3intravel.com, 3 is a digit, and mint an NFT. If you want to sponsor it, you can do it at the same page. I will mention you in the podcast, and your name will appear on all donation NFTs for a while. Thank you, and ciao.